January is preparedness month, or was preparedness month at my place of employment. So I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that I'm starting to put together, just my view on it. I'm going to try and be quick. I'm not claiming any of these ideas are my own. Of course, I've assembled my own gear, gone through my own thought patterns, done some trial runs to see what works for me. But this is just some of the stuff that I think is a little unique to standard preparedness, natural disaster kits, survival kits, whatever you want to call them. Again, it's just preparedness. So here's everybody generally knows to have food and water and a light source, communications if possible, heat source. Those are things that you want to try and replace if you're in some kind of a disaster, snowstorm. We're supposed to get 9, maybe up to 12 inches of snow tomorrow. It should be okay for us, but again. So here's a 14-gallon bucket. This is from Amazon. They're like $32. It comes with the lid. It comes with the little, whatever this is, ring here to secure this on here. It's 14 gallons and it's relatively cheap. These 55-gallon type barrels can be very expensive and very expensive to ship. So this was like 35 bucks. I'm an Amazon Prime member, so shipping was free. And this is where I put my supplies in. Now I have water and food somewhat separate, but this is kind of all this stuff that you're going to show. I'm going to show here. So anyhow, another thing that I find useful is some kind of a reflective road worker's vest. I took a walk home one night in a snowstorm. The streets weren't plowed well. Being seen is critical to me. I'm not trying to camouflage or be hidden. If you don't want to have a whole vest, they make these reflective belts, running belts here. So that's just another idea. On the 14-gallon bucket, I just put a cheap nylon strap there with a hook in case I want to be able to move it around. Now, again, I don't put in 14 gallons of water. If I did, this would weigh 125 pounds. I could put that in it. Anyhow, here's my 2 Go kits, just some cheap string packs. So that's 1. They weigh about 9 pounds each, and that's 2. Okay, I'll show what's in those later. Another thing that I think is somewhat unique is the 5-gallon bucket with a Gamma Seal lid. So these are lids you put on the bucket. This is an extra one here. And then this top spins off, which is on very well. And it's a watertight seal. Okay, so that of course goes on there, and the lid's on there. So that's some unique stuff that I think is a little different. So put this stuff aside and show you some of the things that I keep in this bucket here. I've put them out on a little board. Again, what I consider is somewhat different, but again, a lot of people have this stuff. So I'm just going to go through some of these things. This is available at Walmart. It's cheap. It's basically chlorine bleach. I'm not saying it's used for water purification, but it is good to sanitize surfaces. So in the restaurant industry, wash, rinse, and sanitize is the mantra, and these will do that. So got some of those. Another kind of unique thing that I use is I take some surveyors or trail marking tape. So this is just plastic tape that doesn't have adhesive on it, of course. So you just tie around it. And then you can take a Sharpie marker and write a little note on it. So if somebody's following you, or if you want to, note when you were there or whatever, and then you can hang this, tie it around something and hang it. So also unique. I saw this on a YouTube video. This is a little wash basin. So this is just the bottom of a 1-gallon jug cut out, and you can cut it to whatever depth you want. And then they use this as their little personal wash basin. Weighs nothing, disposable, so on. And then, depending on what you're doing, having a little scrub brush is helpful to clean things off. One of the things people, I think, forget about is in winter, traction is important. This is a pair of cheap Yak Tracks. I've had these for a number of years. They work great, depending on what boots or shoes you're wearing. Something like this, when it's snowing and wintry, really does help. Again, this is in no particular order. 300 feet of braided Mason's, nylon Mason's twine, Walmart, $3. That's a lot of cordage, and you can do a lot with that. That stuff is strong. I mean, I cannot, break this. And it stretches a bit, but not much. Very helpful. Good sized pair of vice grips. This is a cheaper pair, I think, of vice grips. I have a better pair on order. Again, this all goes in this bucket here, so handy for a lot of stuff. This is a window insulation kit, so it's stuff that you put on with the blow dryer, but you know, it's decently strong plastic. It's light, it weighs nothing. You can have a bunch of them in there, and it's decent plastic and compacts down well. Of course, it tears easily. It can be fixed with good old duct tape. Again, you know, I have duct tape and all that other stuff that people have. Here's something else unique that I keep in my bucket. A very high power magnifying glass. The older you get, the harder it is to see things. This is from one of those spring arm lamps with a light on it. But this thing is very high powered. If I have to see something detailed, as long as I have a decent amount of light and, you know, wait for somebody to hold it or to rig it up, that thing really helps me see minute stuff. This is a little kit I put together here, a first aid kit and a little survival kit, you know, lighter and all that stuff in there. But this is nice because I can just, it's pretty waterproof, and, you know, I can just grab it. It has an emergency blanket in there, that stuff. I'm not going to go through that. Paper towels are important, but I find that shop towels are a lot tougher. So I use, I have a pair of these blue shop towels. Again, they're relatively cheap. Paper towels are nice, but these really last a little bit longer. Here we go with the little stove. A lot of people have stove. This is a propane stove. Can go on the 1 gallon canister here, or of course can hook it up with a hose to the 5-pound tank or your 20-pound tank, whatever you got. Here's an Open Country 2-quart pot. I just ordered this. They forgot to send the lid, but anyhow, this is you know, this is all I got for the cooking supplies. Something else very cool: candle lantern. A lot of people have these. This is the mini candle lantern. This I can take with me, you know, backpacking. You know, it's nice. If you can have an open flame, this is a nice thing. It takes the tea candles. Advantages and disadvantages to that, but again, nice. Got one of these. This is a RAV Power, I believe this is a 10 watt or a 15 watt solar charger. Of course, a lot of it's going to depend on where you are, but it charges 5 volts. It comes with those little carabiner type things to hook it up to your pack or outside. Has the USB adapter there. Yeah, I think it's worth it. It wasn't really that expensive. This is a G3 Grundig World Traveler radio, shortwave, AM, FM, weather, the whole 9 yards. Make sure you have extra batteries. Again, in this bucket, not carrying with me backpacking. Enough said about emergency radios. A lot of options there. Something a lot of people don't, I think, consider. This is a cheap $5 multimeter, voltmeter. You know, you'd be surprised when you're in a austere situation, working with batteries, wondering, is electricity on, isn't it on, is it safe, you know, trying to jury rig some stuff up. You know, a voltmeter is an awfully handy thing. It's $5. It goes in the bucket. And something else I just got, which I think is pretty cool, the UST 3D cell lantern. High, medium, and high, medium, low. Three, and a flashing SOS mode there if you hold it on for 4 seconds. There, flashing SOS mode. Supposedly on low like this is the chip LED. A fresh pair of D cells, which of course our heaviest thing weighs with batteries, 1.9 pounds, will last 30 days in this mode. And the cool thing about this is you can go like this, and there's a little hook there, you hang it up like that. Now, you know, it's heavy, it's got disadvantages. D cells, of course, are an issue, but this thing, it will do a good room, light it up. And then with the solar charger, have a little RAV Power. I think this is 3,000 milliamps, so 3 amps of power for cell phones and things like that. So, again, some different things that I think people don't think of. That's one video. Now I'll do one more video of what's in these Go kits, you know, if I just had to grab something and leave this bucket behind.